Of Walt and myself. Well, we have no restrictions on the first part of the tour. A couple restrictions on the second part of the tour, but your tour guide will let you know when they come up. So until then, feel free to shoot away. And your first photo opportunity is coming up. You look high in the sky. 10 Men starring Danny DeVito and Richard Dreyfuss. Also up here we have a black car with green spokes using the Untouchables starring Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. Gray Camaro from Road Warriors starring Mel Gibson. And the Red Coyote used in the TV series Hardcastle and McCormick. The buildings off to your left are called Bungalows, and this is where we house production teams filming here. Bungalow 2 is home to Dick Clark Productions. Let's make it up. And Bungalow 3 is a permanent home to the Mickey Mouse Club. Now we turn into a brand new and from the set. And if we need to but next we're going to be visiting one of the more glamorous departments here in our studios. That's creative costuming. And here in costuming, more than 180 artists design and manufacture costumes for our motion picture, television, and live entertainment needs. Now inside you'll see original costumes worn by Madonna and Warren Beatty and Dick Tracy, Michael Jackson and Captain EO, and the co-stars of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now for those of you in the back, as you can see, we've slowed down so you have a good view of this department. Now watch for those displays coming up on your left. Now here in costuming, it all starts with an artist sketch, and then our seamstresses and tailors take over. Now they can use over 175,000 yards of fabric every year. Here in Florida, we have the world's largest working wardrobe with more than 2.5 million costumes. That grows every day. Next to costuming is our lighting department. Here we can provide up to 3.5 million watts of power for film and video productions on our awful lot. And that's enough power to light up the entire city of Orlando. Right beyond that is our newest addition. It's the Special Effects Makeup Center for the new film Dick Tracy. And you can see some of the masks that they wore. If it's a little drafty, because here in our backlot we can even control the weather. Take a look through this first house coming up on the right. It was used in a winter holiday scene for an Isotoner commercial last Christmas. We trimmed it with colored lights, brought in pine trees, and laid down man-made snow, and the result was a white Christmas in July. They're sunny Florida skies. We'll pass by Herbie the Love Bug, they're number 53. One of 26 Herbies that were used in those films. The Herbie is parked in front of this Midwestern-style home that was used in the Touchstone comedy Ernest Saves Christmas, starring Jim Varney. That was Bird's house. Now if you look around, we have 7 different type of architectural style homes here, each representing Rue McClanahan and Estelle Getty, the Emmy Award-winning Golden Girl. Now the exterior of the house is shot out here. Then it's edited together with interior footage shot on a solid stage out in California. That creates, as I said, the finish show you see every Saturday night. Now, once a house has been selected for a shoot, decorators come in and add props to make it look more lived in. Looks like they've been to work on the blue house on the left up here, and it looks more like a real home when you add the toys in the yard and a flag out front. Even a basketball. As we round the corner, we have 3 light blue sedans in the back. They were all used in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The beat-up one, the actual snow speeder, piloted by Mark Hamill in The Empire Strikes Back. Also the brown floating sand skip where Billy D. Williams and Harrison Ford escaped the sand pit monster, Return of the Jedi. And the funny-looking silver space pod at the end was used in the Disney film Flight of the Navigator. Now for those of you in the back, you'll see as you pass by, this one has an opening. And it was used as our actors would exit and enter the pod. We have another one up a ways, totally closed. We use that for our plane seats. If you look at those, they all look like they're made of metal, but they're all made of wood. And as you can see, the camera can't tell the difference. Hi, Don. Wood's a lot lighter and a lot cheaper than metal. Right next to me, we have an old wooden keelboat used in the 1976 film The Treasures of Monaco Bay starring Peter Ustinov. For a resort in our own Bay Lake about 14 years before the studios even opened, to give me an idea how long we keep some of these things. You never know when you'll need one of those keelboats. Now you can see though that props come in all shapes and sizes. There is, however, a difference between a prop and a set dressing. A prop is anything the actor actually uses or touches. Everything else on the set then enhances the scene, like some of the things I pointed out on that blue house earlier are considered just dressings. Also coming up here we have a Pacific Electric orange and red trolley car. This is also used in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now it's not really a trolley car. It's actually a modified bus that we use for the scenes. We have the fiberglass trolley wheels that cover the actual wheels of the bus. Up here in the second space pod. Take a look across the canal, get a real backstage view of our homes. You see there's not a lot of privacy in that community. Yeah, notice the architectural details like the shingles on the roof stuff just beyond camera range. That's because we don't build what the camera doesn't need to see. Now, what happens if the camera needs to see something that just isn't there? What if we need an environment that you just couldn't find here in Central Florida? For example, where in Florida would you find an active oil field in a rocky, dry, barren desert canyon? Well, that was a problem a few months ago, so we built one right in a picture called Catastrophe Canyon. Now, we wrapped up shooting about 2 weeks ago, and we've been bringing our tours right inside. So Walt is going to safely drive us in. This canyon is modeled after an actual canyon in California. It took about 6 months to build. That may seem like a real long time for one set.
It's on.
Now, the large tanker truck that you see is an example of one of the large-scale products you might find in our boneyard. Doesn't look too good, but it runs great. As you can see, it was much too large for us to just drive across the ravine. Now, we had that hoisted up and over the canyon walls and then set it in place with a large crane, and then they set the parking brake on it.
You sure you're not taking this? It's on your way?
Well, as I told you before, here in our backlot, we can even control the weather.
The only thing is the metal bar, but I can't help that.
The time is money in the movie making business. You can't always wait around for Mother Nature. So when the cameras are ready to roll, the rain has got to be ready to fall. Now we did this by putting large rain spouts over the canyon walls out of camera range. And we put them in upside down and shoot the water out in a crisscross fashion. Kind of looks like wind is at it. Basically, it looks like the whole canyon gets wet, but if you look real close, you
It's in Catastrophe Canyon here at the Disney-MGM Studios theme park in Lake Buena Vista, Florida.
Well, by now you probably out of control disaster was actually a safe, computerized sequence of events. As we're pulling out of the canyon, look over your left shoulder back inside. You'll see another shuttle has just gone in and they're waiting to get their show. Or they're going to wait. Close enough. Put your cameras away in the canyon. You might want to bring them back out because we're now going into our own little slice of the Big Apple, New York Street. And coming up is an excellent camera opportunity. Now we're going to be passing by an arch up here off to your right. You shoot right through the middle of the arch. Use that arch as your frame. You'll see our skyscrapers off in the distance. And as you can see, we don't stop. We're moving. So everybody, get ready here. Now as we go by, you can see that our skyscrapers are actually just painted flats. It's an old movie trick known as forced perspective. Now if you don't want your picture to take like they've been here for decades, they've been here for about 20 months. There's not one single brick in any of these buildings on New York Street. Also, with the right props, signs, and vehicles, we can make these streets look like any city at any time. Most famous detective, Dick Tracy.
He was one of Big Boy Caprice's favorites. Four Eyes specialized in explosives. As he walked, Four Eyes clutched a suspicious package under his arm. Before long, he was near the station house on 8th Street. Most criminals would never come this close to a police station voluntarily. But Four Eyes didn't care. He had a score to settle. It was clear he was up to no good. A About that time, Officer Sweetie stepped out of the station. He was headed for his squad car to begin his patrol. Immediately, he noticed Four Eyes lingering by the hood and called for him to halt. Always ready for trouble, Four Eyes lets his .38 talk for him. Officer Sweetie drew his service revolver and fired back. Realizing his time was short, Four Eyes makes a break. Sweetie followed close behind. Hearing a ticking sound from under the hood, Officer Sweetie knew that every citizen was in danger. He blew his whistle and shouted for everyone to get out of the area. Officer Sweetie couldn't save his squad car, but he did put Four Eyes where he belongs, behind bars.
Tune in again next time for another exciting adventure of Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers.